Climate change has hit India hard. Red alert triggered by incessant rains has been sounded in North Indian states including 17 districts in Punjab, 11 in Haryana and 5 districts in Himachal Pradesh. 30 people have been killed in Punjab as floods ravaged the state's 1,400 villages affecting more than 3.5 lakh people. Punjab is not an isolated instance. Hundreds of people have died in landslides triggered by flash floods this year. Every year, more than 5,000 people die and big damage is sustained by infrastructure, agricultural land and the environment due to sudden floods. As global temperature rise, India's vulnerability to extreme weather intensifies. Extreme weather in India is no longer just an environmental issue. It is an economic disruptor with deep consequence for humanity's future. With rising global temperature, this has been an increase in frequency of flash floods all across India. For instance, between 2020 and 2022, the number of flash flood events increased from 132 to 184 according to Union Ministry of Jal Shakti. Extreme weather events claimed at least 80,000 lives in India and caused $180 billion in economic loss in past 3 decades between 1993 to 2022 according to a news report. The report published by the German Watch, a Germany-based non-profit organization, said India recorded 400 extreme weather events between 1993 and 2022. The bad news doesn't end here. A report by the Asian Development Bank warns India could face 24.7% loss in GDP by 2070 due to climate change, with rising sea levels and decreased labor productivity. Now, let us look at how extreme weather disrupts agriculture, crop failure, due to floods, droughts and heat waves reduce food supply and drive up prices. Loss of income for farmers weaken rural demand, affecting everything from consumer goods to services. The ripple effect of extreme climate also puts a strain on the nation's physical infrastructure. Roads, ports, power grids suffer repeated damage, requiring costly repairs and upgrades. In 2021, a glacier burst in Uttarakhand destroyed bridges critical to the region. Rainwater causes sections of highway sections to collapse. Considering that over 60% of goods and 85% of people in India depend on road transport, such climate-induced damage is a huge threat. Disruption to transport and logistics slow down industrial output and trade. Chennai's catastrophic flood in 2015, which killed over 400 people and caused thousands of crores in property damage, highlights the dangers of ignoring urban hydrology and impact of climate change. The vulnerability of the urban infrastructure to climate change related events gets enhanced by illegal construction on wetlands, blocking of drains, paving of areas and lack of infrastructure upgradation. In Bengaluru, for example, rainfall routinely floods tech parks, upscale housing complexes. In 2022, this led to an estimated Rs 225 crore for repair to roads and buildings. The number of people left homeless owing to extreme weather is rising. In 2024, number of houses damaged by floods, rains and avalanches stood at 3.64 lakhs as per Ministry of Statistics. Heat waves and floods reduce working hours, especially in agriculture. By 2070, India could face 24.7% loss in GDP due to climate-related productivity drop. India's economy is deeply intertwined with its climate. As extreme weather intensifies, so does the urgency for climate-resilient infrastructure, adapted agriculture, and robust financial net. So what is the solution at the ground level? Indian Council of Agricultural Research has taken adaptation measure across 151 vulnerable districts. These include planting of climate-resistant varieties, direct seeded rice, efficient irrigation system, nitrogen application, and avoiding crop residue burning. IMD runs agro-meteorological advisory services for farmers. In this weather forecast for next 5 days are done at the block level. Over 35% of India's population lives in urban areas that generates more than 60% of GDP, yet most of these cities are growing without planning for climate extremes. Gurugram's tech hub, low-lying colonies, reclaimed wetlands across cities from Bengaluru to Chennai are all flood prone because urban expansion has often ignored natural drainage and climate risk. Permeable pavements that allow water to seep into ground, urban wetlands that act as natural sponges, retention basin for excess water, green rooftops that reduce runoff are all proven strategies to reduce waterlogging and enhance groundwater recharge. On this issue, I am joined by two eminent guests, Dr. P.S.N. Rao, Dean, School of Planning and Architecture, and Vimalendu Jha, environmentalist. Let me straight away go to Dr. Rao. Dr. Rao, climate change is here.
Yes.
The climate change is here. How do we prepare new urban centers in context of this extreme rainfall, something which we are witnessing in Delhi and Punjab? A burst of rain followed by heat, and a burst of rain followed by big sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are at the crossroads of major changes, and we are absolutely not prepared for it. And the evidence is there in the pictures for us to see. So I think we need to take this in a multi-pronged fashion. We cannot look at urban and rural as two separate entities in silos, because what is happening outside the cities affects what is going to happen within the cities. So we need to take a larger view of this. We also need to look at existing human settlements and how human settlements are likely to grow in the next 20 or 30 years to come, because as you are well aware, people from rural areas are migrating into the urban areas, and for a variety of reasons which are very obvious. So cities are only going to grow larger and larger, and they need to accommodate more and more number of people. So if you don't really act now, then the damage is only going to increase, and more number of people are going to be affected, more productivity hours are going to be affected. So clearly we are not doing enough, but at least we've started talking about it. I think that's a good sign. There are several strategies that one needs to look at simultaneously. We need to look at river flow management, urban hydrology, rural hydrology. Where is the water coming from? Where is it going? And what is it taking along with it? What kind of protection measures? How do you channelize water? There are some measures where you can do plantations. There are other places where you may have to build a series of check dams or barrages or something like that. So how do you manage water is one very big question.